Hey everyone, it's me, Shadow28 here, and I just wanted to do a quick analysis of Steve and his moveset so far from what we got from the Direct yesterday. We didn't get much, but we got enough. We actually got enough, honestly. I have some great predictions and thoughts on how he's gonna play. I'm not watching the full Direct, I'm just gonna skip to parts that I think that are important. Like, for example, right here we get to see Steve's crouch, which I want to talk about his crouch for a second. Meme-wise, amazing crouch. God tier. Competitive-wise, awful. He barely pancakes. Like, he doesn't pancake whatsoever. Like, if you see Snake's crouch, one of the best crouches in the game. He becomes such a small hitbox. Steve doesn't. He almost stays the same. Not a good crouch at all for competitive. Great meme wise because it's very funny. And then in this next upcoming part here, we get to see Steve's forward smash, down smash, and forward air. I want to talk about those for a quick second. I'm not going to get too involved in it because I'm going to talk about that later in the video. But just note that his forward air right here and his forward smash are very important parts of the video, and I could easily just ramble on for like 10 minutes just about those two clips, but I'm not. I want to continue with the video and start just analyzing it more. Right here we get to see his down tilt. I'm pretty sure Flint and Steel is going to be his down tilt, and with his down tilt, I think it's going to be like PK Fire where it deals multiple ticks of damage, and you could probably use that to ledge trap, and that could also easily just lead into grab combo setups for him because it's such a wide, it covers a decent wide area there, and it's most likely going to be a multiple rapid tick move. That's my prediction for that. Here we get to see Steve's grab and up throw. His grab is a fishing rod, it seems, and his up throw is piston. Is Steve going to have a Zair? For those of you who don't play competitive, Zair is when you do an aerial grab, but aerial grabs don't grab opponents. They just deal like 2% really and can lead into combos. Will his grab be a Zair? I'm not sure, honestly. I think it will definitely be a Zair because it looks like a tether grab. It seems like it acts like a tether grab, but I don't know. It's most likely to be Zair, but I don't want to say for sure because if I'm wrong, I'm just gonna look stupid. There's more I also want to talk about this grab, but I'm gonna save that for 2 seconds here because right there we just gotta see Steve building up. There's something I want to talk about that because that could potentially be incredibly broken. I'm already imagining it right now. Him being able to build up like that, I'm imagining him build up like that and then grab and then up throw. That could easily just be like a zero death because you're grabbing him from already from high places. Tether grab falls down, grabs his opponent, and then he up throws with his piston, and it just kills off the top blast zone. Like, that's crazy. That could easily be a 0 to death if his grab has that much drop off that it could reach the ground like that and that fast. Here I also want to talk about this. Not only can he build upwards, he can build sideways. That's broken because if you're off stage and Steve just decides to build out sideways, it could just easily, if you can't like use your recovery through his blocks, that's just gimping you. That's straight up gimping you. You're just gonna hit the blocks and you're dead. Like unless if it has a grabbable unless if the blocks have grabbable ledges, I don't know yet. But if they don't, you're just dead if you're if you're in close on the stage and he builds out and you're just dead. You're like it blocks your recovery. Here That's also huge. Oh, I'm not continue playing it. Here we are. There we also got to see him build a weapon and then mine. This is. I'm gonna play this also, as we see with his. So as we see with his up air there, he uses a wooden axe. Remember when I said his forward air and forward smash there were going to be key clips? This is why. I think that Steve is gonna start from scratch. No items, nothing, no materials, just your fists. You're only going to have your fists, and then you're going to have to build and craft your weapons as you go. So, like, you gotta start off mining wood, get wood, and you can make a wooden sword, wooden pickaxe, wooden axe, etc., and all that. And then you progress onto iron and then diamond eventually. And there are two theories I have with this. One will make the character so much worse, and the other one will make the character so much better. When he loses a stock, either he's going to lose his items and he's going to have to restart from scratch, or he keeps his items and never loses them. If he doesn't lose his items, that's huge. Like, that's bumping him up like a tier or two at this point because well, like imagine you're playing them, you get good RNG and you get a diamond sword first stock. You have that for the rest of the game. But let's say you lose your items after every time you lose a stock. You're starting from scratch every single time. Like you don't. That's so awful if you start from scratch because at that rate you'll never get a diamond sword most likely, or diamond axe, or diamond pickaxe for weapons. Uh, like that severely degrades him and makes him a worse character. So yeah, if he, it's it's honestly just gonna be a huge thing whether if he loses his items or not when he loses a stock because that could easily make a tier two difference depending on which of what I said happened because you're really honestly most likely never getting a diamond sword if you lose your items whenever you lose a stock. It could be so detrimental, honestly. Steve's going to be a good and technical character. Only good though if you take the time to learn his technicalities and put the effort in to learn him. Because there's so much you'll have to keep track of at once. Like, what is your weapon? How good is it at the time? And how good is it at the time? Like, is it diamond, iron, stone, what, wooden even? Um, like you got to keep track of that and continuously mining for resources throughout the entire game and not just for like, oh, because my weapon needs to be better, because I also think that he's going to have limited resources to build with. Like you, and the way you get more resources is you have to mine for those resources yourself so you can continuously build and set up for combos or gimps like blocking off the side of a stage so they can't so your opponent can't recover. Like I think his resources are going to be limited, so you're going to have to continuously mine for that. Here, right here, that's huge. That shows that Steve and Alex and all that do not have a forward tilt. They're going to be like Mega Man in the sense that they only have jab, and their jab is, well, as you see right here, those quick small attacks. They're not gonna have forward tilt, and their jab is gonna most likely be pretty bad. Here we get to, so I have two theories for what we see here. That's either going to be their dash or that's going to be their side B. I'm not sure which as of right now, but I think more than likely that's going to be their side B. So for that TNT attack, that's most likely gonna be mapped to down B. If their side B is the rail, that's most likely gonna be mapped to their down B. I think you get to place I think how it's gonna work is you get to place one TNT and then you get to leave that there until you can get to place the redstone and pressure plate. The pressure plate, I think, is going to be able to be activated by not just Steve, but everyone. Like, I think everyone will be able to step on that pressure plate and then proceed to activate it and set off the TNT, obviously. Right here, right here, we get to see the recovery, which was obviously going to be the Elytra, and then also something to know about this is they use a firework with their recovery, which is something you obviously can do in Minecraft, but I think they're going to get like 3 fireworks for boosts for the recovery. I don't think they're just gonna give it one. I think they're gonna get like maybe 2 or 3 for as some extra boosts and extra help to go further. Do you have to craft the fireworks? Potentially, but there's nothing so far suggesting that. So I think you're just going to get to use recovery without having to craft the fireworks, if that makes sense. Here, I want to pause here because, as you can see, this is huge. Look, they only have wooden items. Like I said, they have wooden items. As we saw, Alex had an iron sword, diamond sword at some point, and then Steve had an iron. But as you see here, they have a wooden sword. That leads me to believe that, like I had said, you have to level up your items and craft them as you go on. Everything is pointing towards that, and if that's the case, that's such a cool mechanic. And then at the end of that clip there, that you saw that Alex did a back air, and it was an iron pickaxe. Might have not caught that, so in editing, I'll just rewind a little bit and put a freeze frame up of that. So as we see here, this is obviously the Minecraft stage, and right here you gotta see Steve. He's doing his recovery on stage, obviously, to avoid that. There's a lot going on in just this one clip, so in editing, I'll probably rewind it a little bit as I continue explaining it, but there's so much going on in this clip, like 2, 3 things just happening so fast. I'm gonna play it and I'm gonna explain it as it goes on. So as you see here, Steve does his recovery, and that just proves that you can set up the TNT with the pressure plate and it stays there until someone activates it. And as you saw, Steve activates it and gets damaged by it. That leads me to believe that Alex had set up the TNT there, and then Steve obviously comes and lands on the pressure plate, damages himself and Hero in that clip from using his from landing on the pressure plate and then obviously blowing up the TNT in return. And something that we missed while this was all going on, that, well, not necessarily me, well, y'all might have missed because I was obviously explaining that. As we see here, Alex sets up a minecart there, and then the minecart ends up picking up DK and taking him away off stage. And as you can see here down in the corner, DK has escaped it. So it's something that you can mash out of, and that also leads just towards more the fact that, okay, so their cart is clearly their side B because it interacts with opponents and carries them away. Dashes usually don't do that kind of stuff. And, side Bs obviously do interact with your enemies and deals damage or drowns or does something with them. So it's most likely side B. And also in this clip, we see Alex mining up the rails and taking them back, and it looks like they're turning back into iron for Alex to use. Here we gotta see Steve's Foul Smash, self-explanatory, blows up and deals like 70 damage or something, and then Steve comes in and eats a piece of steak. Now I want to touch on this here. earlier in the direct, I don't think I put this in the video, but earlier in the direct, you watch Steve eat a steak right after he's announced. That's either going to be a taunt, or what I would like to see is this would be so much cooler. Steve has a hunger mechanic, and what I mean by that is if he drops to 3 bars, like he loses his sprint and can't sprint if he drops to 3 bars, like it happens in Minecraft, obviously. And then, or that, or maybe gives him a little bit of regen, and he regens a little bit of damage, like how food does in Minecraft. That would be so much cooler than that just being a taunt, because it would just give you more, make the character more technical and a little harder to play, and just so much more like thought provoking. Like he now has to not only worry about his materials and what type of weapon he has and what level it is. He would also have to worry about his hunger bar and eat when necessary, and then he has to also have to remember how many materials you have, because if you don't, you could end up going for a gimp and then really mess yourself up because you don't have enough materials. It's just so much to think about, and it's so awesome. He's going to be such a technical character, but he's going to have so much potential, and he's going to be so good if you dedicate the time to learning him. So I'm pretty sure that's about it for this part of the video. It just, you get to see his win animation right here. Pretty sure that's about it for this part, and now goes to Sakurai talking about the character. Don't really care about touching up on that because he doesn't explain anything or any of his movesets. Now what I want to do right before we end the video here is I'm going to go over to the official Smash Bros website, and I want to just show some more stuff about the characters, some images they have there, in case maybe you guys haven't seen them. It gives us a little bit more of insight to the character, not much, but does give a little bit more, and I just want to go talk about those real quick. Hey, yeah, so there's just a few images here that I wanted to talk about. This one, for example. As you can see, Steve is using Flint and Steel, what I assume is going to be down tilt, as a ledge guard here, and as you can see, it's hitting K. Rool, obviously. This shows the attack doesn't have to be on land for it to work, and I'm assuming it does multiple fire ticks here, which is great because if that does multiple fire ticks, that could maybe lead to a spike setup. You hit him with the down tilt, and then you hit him with Steve's down air, and maybe the anvil will spike, which could net you a kill. So that is very interesting, and if that's the case, that could be so broken at times, honestly. In this one here again, you can see the back air, and this time it's an iron pick. As I talked about earlier in the video with the upgrading, it's gonna just progressively get better. That will eventually go to diamond. Maybe they'll include netherite. I'm not sure. It would be cool if they did, but I honestly don't think netherite is going to be a thing in Smash. I don't think netherite's gonna be a thing in Smash. If we go here, you get to see Steve with the Elytra more, and as you'd see, particle effects down there where he clearly used a rocket to give himself a boost. I think earlier in the video I was wrong about the fact that he gets multiple rockets. I think it's just going to end up being one, but it would be cool if he could like have two maybe. That'd be very cool. Here again, you get to see their side B, most likely. They just place rails and then put in the minecart, and then as you saw earlier in the video, when they get out of it, it can pick up opponents and potentially lead to kill setups. If you use that ledge, maybe it can grab the opponent and you'll be able to just drag them. It'll just drag them off stage and kill them if they can't mash up fast enough. And yeah, that's really it for my analysis. I honestly think Steve's going to be an incredibly technical character, but also incredibly rewarding if you end up deciding to put the time and effort into the character to learning it. He's going to have great setups. He's just gonna be really good if you decide to dedicate the time to learning him and learning how to use his moves properly and what can combo into what and all that. It's just he's gonna be a very, very fun character for honestly most people, in my opinion. Anyways, that's gonna do it for the video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead, like, subscribe, and all that. My Discord link should be in the description, so go ahead and join that. And let me know if you actually did enjoy it, because this is my first time doing a style video like this of an analysis, and I don't know how well it came out. It might probably came out pretty bad because it's my first one and I'm not that great at it. But I don't know, just let me know if you liked it. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.